Well, welcome everybody to the webinar today. We are back with statistics and analyzing our stats. And I wanted to first go back through my list of phrases and document where I sit with these phrases. I have found that miniature trees is actually not all that hugely valuable for me with my niche. A lot of people are actually looking for realistic or for real trees on that. That's not necessarily something I want to compete with, so I'm not too sad to see that I'm dropping on that one because it has turned out to be not quite as valuable for me. This one, on the other hand, model trees, I do need to work on. I want to bring that back up. The miniature tree single is not as big a deal. Overall, it looks like most of my traffic has actually gone down this past little while. We've come up on the HO scale trees, which is good because that's been a continued increase. But this site hasn't been able to receive as much attention as perhaps it needs either, because I've been working on my other project. This one right here, the Viper Sharp product, which isn't showing properly for some reason. There's the preview. So I've got that going. I spent a weekend getting that filmed and getting everything put together. So this campaign is just about ready to launch. So that's where I'm putting my focus. I have started tracking that in my Statcounter there, and so that one will be something that we will start talking about. So let's just look at what happened this past week with my Model Tree store site. I did see that the traffic was actually a bit higher when in fact, if we go in here and let's see, let's change this from the 18th to, I wish they'd give me a calendar pop up on that. So I could decide what date I wanted to do. We're going to do the 11th to the 17th. Go a little longer there. So you can see when I got my Statcounter tracking properly put in there, I did see that my traffic, it's bigger than I had thought that it was. If we look at this past 7 days, we can see that on average, I'm looking at around, perhaps the 8 visitors, 8 to 10 visitors a day. Last Monday and Tuesday, we had 18 and 24 visitors with a lot of page searches. I think that's where I got some sales on that. Then it came down in the week, and yesterday started going back up. So hopefully we'll see a continued trend with that. My visitor pass, if I come in and look at that to see, again, I've got the data in here that lets me know where my visitors are coming from and what pages they're hitting on my site. And so I can scan through that. I can see here somebody's downloading an image there. And so it's nice to see that they have an interest in it there. Here's a cart entry there on the 22nd. So that was just this past weekend or so. And that was probably the order that I saw there. So traffic still looks pretty good overall. We've got a lot of visitors on the site that are spending a lot of time going through the different pages, checking the site out, looking at things. I don't have a lot of worry where people aren't looking through. There aren't a lot of these where people are doing just a one-page visit. They're actually going through the site, they're downloading. Another thing that you can see with Statcounter Visitor Pass is the return visits here. So I can see that this individual in Gilbert, Arizona has not placed an order yet, but they came in first on January 6th and then again on the 24th. They visited a few different pages there, a couple of different pages anyway on the 6th, and a completely separate page on the 24th that they came into. They did do a Google search on the 24th to find me. And so that's good to see that they are finding me through a Google search there. And then this one here in Miami only has the visits on the 24th yesterday showing. Same thing with this one here in the United Kingdom. Now, incidentally, I did research my cost of shipping to the United Kingdom and have been able to start shipping over there. So I had my first sale to the UK within the last couple of weeks anyway, and so I've offered that on my site, and so now I should be seeing more visits from them and perhaps some sharing going on there. Now, one thing that I do to help me with this is I sell the same products on eBay, and so whenever I sell something on eBay, since I am shipping the item, I actually put in one of my cards. Actually, I put in 2 or 3 in each box that I ship out. So when they receive that, they've got those cards, and hopefully they'll keep one and maybe hand some out to others in the industry who they know. And so a lot of my traffic is going to be direct traffic where people are coming straight to the site. Some of it will be from referral links, but most of it is direct traffic. And then, of course, we've got a lot of search traffic. So that's something that you can do if you're doing eBay and really active with it. You can put your, if you're shipping something yourself, you can put a card in it. If you're not shipping it yourself, you can do an email to everybody that orders from you and put your website address in there. I actually do that with every email that I send to people. Let's pull one up here and we can show you an example of what I do. So whenever I send out an email, I will put in, let's see, or whenever I receive a payment rather, I put in a thank you email here. Thank you for your order. Please read and save. And unfortunately, they don't see that in the title because they've got the payment title. But it says, thank you for your order. Hope everything's great. Hope you're 100% satisfied. And then it has a note down here with my contact info. And actually, I had thought that it had my websites in there, and I'm not seeing that here. So I'm going to have to update that because I used to have the websites noted in there for them to come and visit my websites. So that's something that I will be updating so that I have some cross promotion that I can do there. In fact, I can do that right here. I can come in and just change this to oh, nope, there it is down at the bottom. So I have it right down here. Check out some of my websites that you might find interesting. And then I've got a couple of my websites there. And so that gives me an option to send an email out to my clientele. Now, I have a lot of websites, and so I have to decide either which one I want to promote or as I've done here, a couple of them that I might promote. If you have just one website, then it might make it a little easier. When you make a sale on eBay, then you're putting just the one website in there. And that's a great way to cross-promote with products, too. If you are selling pet products, for example, on your website, then sell similar pet products or other pet products on eBay and get as much going there as you can. And you can even sell those where you're just barely breaking even or just making a little bit, just to get in the door. And then once somebody orders from you, you can reply with this email that says, hey, thank you for your order. Hope everything's great. Hope you're happy with it. Next time you're looking for pet supplies or whatever the product might be, come on over to our website here, and give them the website link. Something about, hey, we're sure that you'll find something of interest for you there. We're happy to provide great products and service for you. Something like that in an email will help bring some qualified visitors, because you think about it with our and this is something that we want to look at with our stats too. If you're getting traffic where people are actually going through the pages, so if we take, let's take this one here. We can see here that we had 3 returning visitors, we had just 3 visits, and just 3 page views. So if we have a lot of that, like this one here, this one here, this one. Now this is a new site. This is my ViperSharp website that I'm just beginning to look at and launch. So I haven't actually launched that too publicly yet. But if you're seeing a lot of this where these columns line up or are close to lining up, that's an indicator that they're not moving through the site, and also an indicator that it's not real qualified traffic, okay, unless there's something wrong with your stats, which often can happen as well. What we want to see is something more like this, where the green, the page views, is much higher than the unique visits, because that indicates somebody is moving around on the site. Now, these are probably me working on the website, the days that I spent time working on my site. So if we look at, let's take my Wild Utah Edibles site. That one usually has some pretty good stats. So we'll pull that up. And in there, you're going to see people moving through the site a lot more with that traffic if it comes up. There we go. So this is what you want to see, where your number of page views is double or more what your visitors are. And that's the case on pretty much every one of these. Very few do I not have a double. This one's almost double. That one's not quite there. That one's almost triple. So we want to see a lot more of that green page views than we do the unique visits. And so that is an indicator of the quality of traffic that you're getting to your site. Okay, if we've got quality traffic coming through, then we're going to see more page views than we do unique visitors. Okay, and then we have a question here that I think is very relevant from Barbara. Thanks, Barb, for putting that out there. Her question is, I am getting visitors, but no one is buying anything. Is it me or the industry? Should I change something? We don't want to start making changes until we have, I would say, at least 50, preferably closer to 100 visitors per day to the site. And so if we're looking at visitors under that 50 mark, and especially, or under the 100 mark, but especially, if it's less than 50, then we really want to just focus on driving the traffic, doing more promotion. That can be done through any social site. It can be done through pay-per-click marketing, through Google or Yahoo or Bing or others. We need to do something to bump up the traffic. We need to get more traffic coming. Then we can analyze whether that traffic is moving through the site, whether they're quality visitors or not. Okay, so I wouldn't recommend making any changes on the site itself other than improving your SEO, adding content, blogging, maybe adding some articles and review pages or something like that. Those kinds of things that you want to do, but general design changes I would not mess with if the traffic is still lower. Okay, but if you've got higher page views than you do unique visits, then at least we're doing something right there in getting the traffic that we need. So that's one of the main things that I like to look at with Statcounter, is that those green bars are always the highest bar. Okay. Then again, we can look at the visitor path, the popular pages. That's something that, and actually you can go up here to popular pages and get an indicator of which pages are most popular. And that'll tell you where people are looking, what they're coming in on. And then if we have a lot of traffic and we have a lot of pages or a lot of visits on certain pages that where we have products, but we're not getting sales on that product, then we can go to look at that page and say, okay, what needs to change? And then we can look at the page itself. Again, if we only have 10 to 20 visitors a day, I would be very careful about making changes because we don't have the data to really tell us what whether those changes are positive or negative. That's really what it comes down to, is if we're going to make changes, we need to be able to track those changes and say, yes, it has helped, no, it hasn't helped. Okay. There are a couple of things that we can look at when we do get traffic to that point. We've got entry pages and exit pages. So our entry pages, the most popular is our home page here. Same thing, this is still the home page. Then the Sago Lily page gets a lot of entry, local tours and instruction gets a lot of entry, rabbit brush, Indian paintbrush. So are we seeing similar pages with the exits? And so here's our entry pages, here's our exit pages. So it's pretty common that people will start at our home page a lot of times and then come back to the home page and then leave. So it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a problem there. Sago Lily is getting a lot of entry and a lot of exits, local tours. So it is the same. So that it does look like the same pages are up at the top there, which could indicate that people are bouncing. They're coming in, seeing one page and then leaving. Not always a bad thing. If they're seeing what they expect, then it could be, that may be okay. Let's go look at our visitor paths. Oh, I'm sorry, stats overall on this. So again, we can see that we aren't getting a huge number of bounces. There are plenty of people that are moving through. So yes, we're doing okay there. So now we go to our visitor paths and take a look at it. What's skewing the numbers? Well, there are some recent searches where they're finding us and bouncing. So we look at that here. Let's see. These are all 5 bounces just this morning here that have come in. So that may be skewing our stats a little bit on that. But after that, we've got one that came in yesterday and then did another search today and found our site again. We've got one here that has been back multiple times since the 19th and has looked through a lot of pages. So that's great that they're moving through the site. Here's one that came from Facebook and so probably found my Facebook page and then went to one page and probably signed up. This is a sign up page where they can sign up for my newsletter. So that's considered a conversion where I'm getting somebody on my newsletter. So that's not a bad thing to see them leaving from that same page. Then we've got more here where people are going through many pages. This one actually left from the tours page to Facebook, looking at a schedule there. Here again, we've got more bounces. This is a stumble upon URL, so they're probably not really truly interested. They came to the home page, not really what I wanted, and they bounced. Same thing with this one. There's a lot of this in California. A lot of bounces there. I'm seeing from California, and these could actually be just the way that they are registering. I don't know much about California geography, but if these cities are all close, this could be the same individual actually in just using a mobile device or something as they're moving around, and so it's pinging different towers. So that's possible. They may not be actual bounces, but they're just showing that way. So looking at my stats overall, I'm feeling pretty confident with the way this is going. Again, looking back at the site that we've been tracking, the Model Tree store, that's coming down a little bit. I'd like to see that traffic getting back up in this range and improving and going up higher. Our placements are coming down because I've been neglecting it. I just haven't had the time to put into that, and so it's going to hurt a little bit because I'm putting my focus in this Viper Sharp campaign for the sharpener product that I've been developing, and that's where my effort is. That's going to be my focus for a little while. So keep in mind with your websites, the more you have going on, if you try to do additional websites, then you've got to split your efforts, and you won't have as much time to put into each of them because you only have so many hours in the day that you can work on your business, right? So that is going to affect the overall results that you might get from your website. So keep that in mind as you work to build your business. And then it just comes down to marketing. Again, if your stats are still lower, then we've got to do more to market. So that's still something that I need to work on. I know that I can improve the content on my site to improve my placement there. I have run some ads on these keywords and got some traffic from that, although I haven't been able to tie any of that specifically to individual sales. But I wasn't seeing a huge number of traffic, visitors coming. I wasn't seeing a huge increase or influx in them. And for this particular site, I think my social media optimization is actually something that's a little more valuable, a little more helpful for me than some of the other avenues that are out there. So just to check up, kind of a brief overview of what's happening this week with that site. Do we have any other questions related to the topic today that we need to cover?